Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a very lonely Carolina Gaming Arena studio. It is only I on the desk and only Henry on production today. We are very sad that most of our colleagues could not make it, but that does not mean that we are not in for an exciting day of gaming. Yes, we have the second day of the League of Legends Varsity / Junior Varsity Tryouts today. And if you tuned in yesterday, which I hope you did, and if you didn't, I'm going to come and find you. But if you tuned in yesterday, you saw some amazing stellar talent that is going to be playing for UNC this year with the likes of Jimmy Coy, for example, just owning the show in every single way in yesterday's match. Sadly, Jimmy Coy is not going to be playing in today's match. I believe he is slotted for more games down the line, but we do have the rosters for today's set of games. On the blue side, we have Team Jas with Stexy123, Castellan the Bodkill, Jas himself, and then Luxana Unana. On the other side of the rift, we have Cypress's team with Asomo, Jungle No Mechanics, Kersey, Cypress, and Sizzle. So there were some similar names from yesterday if you did watch, but there are also some new people showing up onto the Rift today, namely Stexy, Bodkill, Jas, Sizzle, and I believe that is it. But that does not mean that their talent is any less than what we saw yesterday, and by that, we are into picks and bans with only ADC bans coming out so far. I spoke too soon as the Darius is banned away from Stexy123, but Callista and Misfortune have been banned for the side of Team Jas, with Samira being the other ban for Team Cypress. Very interesting ADC focus. Obviously, Team Jas not wanting Cypress to get his hands on one of these more overpowered ADCs on this current patch, but I am surprised that they did leave up the likes of Sivir and Zeri, but I imagine they want to first pick the Sivir themselves if it is still up. That's what I would do in this scenario, but I am not in the minds of these two teams. Hecarim going to be the last ban for Team Cypress, with Udyr being the last ban for Team Jast. Is it Jast or Jas? Because his name on League is Jest, but on the sheet it says Jas. Henry. Is it Jas or Jest? Jas. Okay, so on League it's Jest, but on the sheet it's Jas. You see what I'm saying? This is all irrelevant to you, audience, but it is important to me. So I do not continuously pronounce him the wrong name. But regardless of that, Ezreal is going to be the first pick locked in for Team Jast, with Kaisa being the return pick. So both ADCs going to be shown in this first set of picks and bans, but Jungle No Mechanics gonna have to lock in some type of pick here with the Nocturne Hover. I'm a big fan of this Nocturne pick because you can build him either really tanky with items like Ravenous Hydra, or not Ravenous Hydra, rest in peace, Titanic Hydra, or other items like that, or you could go completely lethality with items like Duskblade that would really make him blow up this Ezreal. Either name is fine, I am being informed. So I will call him Jast just because that is how it is labeled on League. Castellan not really hovering anything. Nervous pick of the Renata Glass. I mean, I still like that pick, but I do feel like that was a hasty pick. Might not be what Luxana Unana would have wanted entirely. Luxana, a big fan of the Enchanter supports. We were talking about that, me and Harsha, on the desk yesterday, talking about how that is his comfort zone in his pick, with Castellan going to be locking in the Xin Zhao this time around. Castellan was playing support yesterday, so a big switch for him going up to the jungle, out of the safety of a support role and into a very much more proactive role, especially on this Xin Zhao pick. Gonna have to try and get his team ahead by those nice picks. But Kersey hovering and presumably locking in this Taric pick, another one of my favorite champions. Taric is by far, I think, one of the best supports right now. Just so good. His ultimate phenomenal. His stuns and heals so great against a lot of these current compositions that we see picked a lot today. But a lot of off-meta compositions have been seen in the past few games of these tryouts, with some off-meta bans being put on the table. Silas, pretty meta ban, but the Veigar, more of a comfort pick for the bod kill. Not one to play super meta things, but does have his comfort picks, with Set being the second ban for the side of Team Cyprus. I'm a big fan of the Set. I've always liked him. He's the only one that I have a prestige skin for, so I did shell out some money for that. He does look really cool. Nice golden dragon or dragon dragon slayer set. I don't know. Argue with me in the chat. But York, last ban for Team Jast. Cyprus gonna lock in this Ahri, or at least hovering this Ahri. Could be a very, very good pick into whatever the bod kill does decide to play. Ahri, a dueling champion, could also have great picks with the E charm. Be able to bring in, especially if you hit someone very immobile like a Victor, if that is going to be locked in, and has great maneuverability with the Spirit Rush ultimate and Flash if he does decide to run that, which, I mean, I don't see why you would not run Flash on an Ahri. Not really a great ghost champion, but great ways to set up the ganks with Nocturne and Ahri, both having ways to dive onto their presumed victim. Lixana locking in this Lilia pick. Lilia, like I was saying, hasn't one of the more off-meta picks. We haven't seen a lot of her in recent professional play. She used to be either picked or banned in almost every single game, having a lot of priority. But the Magical Deer making its appearance this time around, and the Gnar going to be locked in for Team Cyprus with this last pick, going up against the Lilia. It's actually a Lilia top for Stexy. Did not really click to me that that's where that pick was going, but here we are. The Lilia going to be very, very not fun to play against with this Gnar, especially if she is able to continuously hit those slows off of her bowling ball, and then I believe her Q slows as well. Not too sure about that one. That will be an interesting matchup that we will have to keep our eyes on. The rest of the map, pretty standard. The Nocturne and the Xin Zhao, very, very good dueling champions against one another. The Victor and the Ahri as well, going to be duking it out for lane supremacy. Bot lane is something that I think will also be one of those matchups that will be very important to keep our eyes on, with Kaisa and Tarek going up against the Ezreal and Renata Glask. I think the Ezreal and Renata have a lot of ways to function with their team in very big team fights, with the Renata ultimate just doing so incredibly much. I mean, Renata is just so great at causing chaos. I think that was the main reason she was added to this game, is just to create her own world and say, yes, I'm going to control the pace of this team fight. And especially if you could hit the ADC, if you can hit Kaisa, if you can hit this Gnar whenever he is in the little form, little Gnar, able to get those 3 procs of his passive onto an enemy champion, will slow him, will speed him up a little bit, but it will slow whoever his target is, making them a little bit easier to pick off for the side of Team Jest. But after Champ Select, you all know what happens. We have to wait on that nasty spectator delay, and it is still going to be a great match regardless of that. So don't look away from that browser. UNC Esports. We'll be right back. Welcome to Summoner's Rift, ladies and gentlemen, with the first game of Team Jast versus Team Cypress. We got a banger of a game, a banger of a series gonna be coming right at you. Both teams looking to show off their skills in order to make these varsity and junior varsity squads. Both of them have a pretty solid composition. A lot of ways to engage, a lot of ways to cause fights, and a lot of ways to cause some ruckus. Both of them doing standard 5-point starts, though. Nothing too insane. Neither one wanting to be the first one to pull the trigger. Items across the board looking pretty normal as Jas throws up the happy poros. Gotta love to see that. Some nice enthusiasm from the new ADC. And by new ADC, new to us, but he is actually from the accursed school over in Raleigh. He is a sub for NC State, so not exactly what you want to hear if you are from Chapel Hill, but he is helping us out during our time of need, so very, very thankful for all that he's doing. Oksana Unana getting some trades back. Speaking of trades, Bodkill going to do his best to get some damage onto Kersey, forcing out a health potion really early. That is, or no, it wasn't a health potion. What did he use to heal? I don't know. His items are still normal, but doesn't show any change in the health bot. Maybe it's because of his passive. I'm not sure. Jas still throwing up those happy poros. We always love to see it. This bot lane is going to be an interesting one to keep our eyes on, though. We do have a potential fight down here. The flash out of Cypress. Oksana Unana getting very low. The shields come out, though. Sizzle very, very close to getting attacked on right there. We are looking to potentially try and press the lead even more. Level 2s are hit. Could we see some potential fights? Right now, the Tarek does have a pretty strong level 2, but does miss the stun, and that makes that strength of that level 2 go down very quickly. Oksana Unana taking a lot of damage, but speaking of a lot of damage, Osomo on the other side of the map facing this Lilia doing a lot of damage. Bodkill having to burn that ghost to get out of the clutches of Nocturne and Kersey. Very scary combo, the two of them. Somo not having fun against this Deer champion. I was talking about that a little bit in Champ Select. Lilia just has a lot of ways to abuse this Gnar, especially with the amount of abilities and the low mana cost she has on her abilities. Osomo doesn't even use mana, but looks like he's still getting the losing trade of these abilities, ability usages. Turret being shoved in with that full wave of minions. Osomo gonna have to use on his best judgment to try and get all of those minions for himself. Both junglers saying hi to each other for the first time this game. Castellan and Jungle No Mechanics. Neither of them wanting to be the first jungler to have a death on the board. Jungle No Mechanics was playing in yesterday's match against Jimmy Coy, but speaking of him, Castellan could be in a bit of trouble. Does get the fear off. Shield is used from Sizzle, and that is going to be a flash out, but a flash, another flash, so many flashes. Castellan is going to die, though. The bailout not going to bail you out this time. First blood goes over to Jungle No Mechanics. In the middle of what I was saying, Jungle No Mechanics had to go against the likes of Jimmy Coy yesterday, so he is definitely still reeling from that series. Jimmy Coy doing his best Xmithie impression, being one of the best on the Rift in yesterday's match. Jungle No Mechanics wanting to be the best on the Rift this time around. Going to take a recall here and should come back with a good bit of items. Top side of the map still going just as you would think it would be. Bottom side, no deaths, but some assists gone over to Sizzle and Cypress. Going to have a little bit extra gold whenever they go back to base for the first time. Neither ADC or support has had the opportunity to take a base just yet, and neither of them wanting to give up that tempo to the opposing squad. and rightfully so. You let either of these champions start getting ahead, and it is going to be a brutal time for you and your duo. Somo and Stexy did get the recalls off for them, though. Stexy came back with the Amplifying Tome, with Soma coming back with some boots and a longsword. So it did get a little bit better of a recall than Stexy did. Both of them holding their teleports for a potential fight later on. Somo goes in, loses the Mega Gnar right as he goes in, though, but I don't think that matters. That's a lot of damage. Could have kept going, but the Conqueror, I think, from Stexy stacking up dissuaded him a little bit, and probably for the best that he did not continue to fight that. Big wave going to be shoving into the turret for the bot lane, but it doesn't matter when you are trying to fight mid lane. The gravity well does go down. Jungle Mechanics going to use the spell shield to get out of it. They know Castellan does not have flash. Jungle Mechanics getting his second death on the board, and the bod kill might just get his first. The death ray is going to miss, but it doesn't matter because the turret does more than the death ray at this point. Bod kill gets himself a kill. Jungle No Mechanics might go for the dive here. Hits the Q, but it might not be enough. The death ray! Jungle No Mechanics getting too close to the sun. And by the sun, I mean the bod kills E. Doing so well, the bod kill kiting that. 2-0 for him. That is a lot of gold in his pocket for his first recall. Luxana Unana forcing the cleanse out of Cypress. Cypress could be in a lot of trouble. Jas did just get back from his recall with the Sheen. That's a lot of damage. Jas has slain Cypress. The Conqueror has been activated. The bailout is used, but it's not going to do anything. This Taric is just so darn tanky and quick, surprisingly. Does have the refillable to heal him back up, as well as some biscuits, but should just take a recall here after his ADC returns to lane, because he definitely is in need of some items. Luxana Unana off the first recall gets a Ruby Crystal and some Lucidity Boots. Definitely a very nice recall for this Renata Glask. Able to make use of the pick that they just made. What's even better about that double kill, that bod kill got a little bit ago, is now the man's got a blue buff. He is wearing blue and is able to show off his abilities to Kersey even more than he normally would. Doesn't even have to buy a tier. Goes for the Lost Chapter and is very useful of his gold. Apparently started with the Dark Seal, has 4 stacks on it, already. 4-stack Dark Seal at about 8 minutes. That's pretty darn good, if you ask me. Jungle No Mechanics able to use his priority a little bit to get this first dragon, though. Jas could be in a little bit of trouble, but here comes the tactical nuke out of nowhere. Jungle No Mechanics thing so low. Oh my goodness, Jas getting a double kill right there with the ultimate and the Q. So much gold into his pocket now. 59 CS, 3 kills to nil, and they could potentially try and go for more, but Cypress knows the game, knows that he does not want to give another kill over to this Ezreal. And that ultimate surprisingly hit both Sizzle and Jungle No Mechanics to deal so much damage, underestimating the power of the Sheen that he does have. Doesn't even have a lot of damage. I mean, the only damage item he has is that D-Blade. The Sheen, I mean, as far as raw damage, doesn't provide anything, but does provide that sweet passive to be able to use on auto attacks. Somo getting in a little bit of trouble here. Doesn't have the Mega Gnar just yet. Gets it. Misses the stun, though, and that could be his demise if Stexy decides to go with it. Osomo trying to juke everything he can. He's just 1 Q away. Flashes out. Misses the bowling ball. But a very big misplay, missing that stun. I believe if he does hit that stun, Stexy is dead, and there's nothing that he could do about it. But now, with that misplay, Castellan going to be able to use that Rift Herald on the top side if he decides to. And there it is, popped. Jungle No Mechanics having to try and clear this wave. Osomo having to use a teleport to get back. Jungle No Mechanics, no ultimate. Did hit the Q, though, to follow him up. Not going to come of anything right there, though. Kersey trying his best to stay in the game and barely misses that charm. Does hit the minion right before the turret shot kills it. Kersey not allowed to recall according to the bod kill, and the ultimate from Jungle No Mechanics used to try and pick off the bod kill, but barely lost vision of him as he popped the R. He's still trying to go something, though. Sees Castellan. The disrespect on it as he throws up the thumbs at Timo. Kersey is, I don't know why he is staying for so long. Doesn't want to miss farm, but that right there, my friends, is why you just give up the farm. Jungle Mechanics going to pay the price for Kersey's sins right there. Another kill going over to Team Jast. Team Jast having a masterclass this game so far. Up 6 kills to 2, up 600 gold at about 11 minutes. And it's also very good because the gold is spread out. It's not all on one person. It is on the mid laner. It is on the bot laner. It is on the jungler to a certain extent. Stexy is just sort of there. Doesn't have a lot of gold to his name in correlation to the rest of his team, but that does not make him useful, useless in any sense of the word. First mythic item is on the board for the bod kill, going for that Leandre. He's wanting to be extra annoying this game with his death rays. And he even went magical boots. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a gold efficient man going the magical footwear, as well as Castellan. Man, they know what's up with that magical footwear. Cypress went magical footwear. Who else went magical footwear? Sizzle went magical footwear. See, this is what peak League of Legends gameplay looks like. Throwing up the sad B, Jungle Mechanics wanting that mid gank. He definitely wants to shut down the bod kill and get himself a lot of gold. Asomo could be in a bit of trouble. Is nowhere near the Meganar and is walking very close to Stexy. Does get some good return damage off. We could see a 3v3 in the Taric Wombo combo. The ultimate is going to go down to keep Jungle Mechanics alive. The Kaisa ult, but the Berserk is used. Doesn't really cause too much mayhem. The bailout is used for Jazz, but he's going to be shut down before he can get any use out of it. Castellan gets one. Castellan gets two. If he stops getting feared, doesn't get the second one. So close, but the bod kill is here. The Goon Squad has arrived. The stopwatch is going to be used by Luxana. Unana is going to survive. Double kill is popped, and the Q hits, and that is a triple kill for the bod kill. So great this game. Just upped his total kills from 2 to 5. That's how math works, people. And the gold just skyrocketed in favor of Team Jast. Lot of stuff going on to this game, and it is all going in the favor of Team Jast. Up a little bit under 3,500 gold, exactly 3,500 now, excuse me, but still a very sizable gold difference so far. Looking to take this Infernal Dragon, the best dragon that has spawned on the Rift so far. Getting some trade damage onto Kersey, who wants to trade some damage back onto Castellan. Not a lot of vision for the side of Team Cypress in this bot lane river, so it should be a free dragon for Team Jazz. They have one ward that surprisingly was not cleared, so if they had any way to contest it, then they could have, but they simply do not have a Ezreal like Team Jazz do. To, you know, use that cross map ultimate is kind of very helpful in these situations. The True Shot Barrage, a very handy tool in all of that. But the stun is going to miss on the bot side, though. Luxana Unana is in a bit of trouble, but a big Berserk onto 3 members. Almost got the Elim onto Jungle No Mechanics to reset the Berserk and keep her alive. Not going to happen, though. A nice kill into the pockets of Team Cypress. But the fight could not potentially be over. Kersey walked down a little bit, does take the damage from the bod kill, who is, I believe, working towards a death cap. Asomo could be working towards another death instead of a death cap. Doesn't have any type of Narbar going on. Does try and get the passive off to give him the speed, but Castellan with the solo bolo onto this Gnar, even burns his flash, and the first death of this top lane has just arrived. That is going to hurt Asomo quite a bit. Does lose all of this CS. Doesn't have the teleport in order to get back up there to catch all of it. And is already down, I believe, a few turret plates off of some questionable recalls and everything. But that is the nature of this lane. Herald going to be attacked by Team Jast. A big pickup for them. Plates are already gone, but that does not matter. You can still knock down a turret, get that first turret gold into your pockets. Castellan going to be the one to pick it up. Juggernaut Mechanics trying to walk up to give Asomo some assistance. Is spotted out by the ward and the Tri-Brush, though. Stexy wanting to get a good recall right now. Has a good bit of gold in his pocket, or at least should have a good bit of gold in his pocket. Plus wants to have an item differential up on Asomo. Asomo comes back with the Triforce, the Hell Magic Mantle in his inventory as well. I presume going towards some Mercury Treads, which are very good into the composition of Team Jast, and especially on Gnar as a whole, just trying to get into the back line, use that Gnar ultimate, fling everyone into a wall. Bodkill knows what's up. Bodkill presumed something was wrong, and by presumed, I mean he had a ward. So very good there, but the Ghost is popped. The ultimates are used for everyone. That is a lot of cooldowns, and the Bodkill simply out of range once again of the Nocturne ultimate. Sizzle could be in a bit of trouble, is slowed by the Death Ray. Castellan is there. Gravity Well does go down, and it doesn't catch Sizzle, despite him using the W to give himself a little bit of a shield to slow him down. Juggernaut Mechanics has arrived, as well as Kersey, who is a little bit ways off, but is in the bot lane river. Try and do something. Jast going, taking that red buff for himself, moving mid lane while the rest of the gang is chilling bot lane. He says, why the heck you take all my farm? And it's like, well, other people are using it more. And as a fair response to him, Herald dropped bot lane. Luxana not able to clear the pink ward right there. As a support main, we all know that is very, very sad times. You're not able to get that last hit on the ward simply because a scary mid laner shows up. Luxana Unana roaming around the jungle a little bit, trying to clear some vision for himself after he was denied the vision out of that inside of the jungle brush. Very peaceful game right now, though. No fighting has happened in about a minute or so, which I mean at this point in the game is very, very nice, or at least in this particular game. 18 minutes, 16 kills, but I may have just eaten my words as the stun goes out onto Luxana. Unana hits a big berserk onto 3, but it isn't going to mean anything. The ultimate is popped for Juggernaut Mechanics. Lilia goes in, tries to get some big damage, but it only results in her death. A double kill for Cypress. Jast trying to get a return kill, but he flew too close to Kersey, but he doesn't actually fly close enough. A triple kill of kills for the side of Team Jast. Asomo missing the stun once again. It is going to fall here, not killing Jast. A 4-4-2 in favor of Team Jast. So much gold in their pockets, so much just everything, so much momentum, so much usefulness, so much better team comp and better usage of their team comp. Asomo TPing in very late there. I imagine didn't have the Narbar ready to use his ultimate effectively in that fight. Didn't really get any stuns there even when he did use the ultimate. But the fight still goes the way of Team Jast. Bodkill sitting at 7-0-2 on this victor, carrying this team with his big Death Ray and Gravity Wells in these fights. Are doing so incredibly well. Castellan doing really well on this Zinzao pick as well. I mean, you would imagine just playing support yesterday, you played good, but didn't know that you could switch over to the jungle and play just as efficiently. Baron spawning here right now. I don't think either team really has the facilities to take it immediately. Maybe Team Jazz could, but not without the intervention of Team Cypress. Both mid laners duking it out in this bot lane. Bodkill going to get clipped by the charm right there. Almost could have kept going for that. Did have the Chaos Storm ultimate. Jungle Mechanics could be in a bit of trouble. Does get hit by the Renata push away, but Sizzle could be in the hunt. Jungle Mechanics diving in there. Xin Zhao ultimate, a big berserk, but the Taric ultimate is going to provide so much use on them. But a huge Lily asleep onto 4. Stexy, you mad lad, trying to get the return kill onto it. Osomo's going to fall. The rest of Team Cypress is going to fall, and that is a ace for Team Jazz at 20 minutes while they only lost 2. Such great team fighting from Team Jazz. A huge ultimate from Stexy, completely nullifying that Taric ultimate. It had gone off for a few seconds and just didn't really matter. Just ran the fight in the way that he wanted. And on top of all of those kills, they get this bot lane turret, and they're getting this mid lane turret, and they're getting a lot of damage on this top turret, and they're actually going to get this top turret. I thought that Sizzle was going to run top to try and potentially save this turret, but Castellan is going to get the entire top tier 2. So off of that play, not only did you give 5 kills over to Team Jazz, but you lost 2 inner turrets and 1 outer turret, opening this map wide in favor of Team Jazz with a 10K gold lead at 21 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a big gold lead. Going to make a big difference if you are a Team Cypress fan right now, trying to claw back into this one. Cloud Drakes seem to be one of the things that you really need to focus on, not so you can really utilize the soul, but so the soul can be taken away from Team Jazz. Team Jazz, that Cloud Drake would do a lot, especially for this Victor, the Xin Zhao, and the Lilia being able to use their ultimates and get a speed boost whenever they do use them. Jungle No Mechanics spotting out Castellan right there. I don't believe he wants the smoke of this Xin Zhao, who I believe could easily put Nocturne 6 feet under at this point in the game. Could see a potential fight around this blue buff. Bodkill getting some good damage onto Jungle No Mechanics. The blue buff going to go over to the Bodkill. We all know he needs more mana. Castellan trying to hit Jungle. He does hit Jungle No Mechanics right there, who throws up the thumbs up Teemo emote, still in good spirits, regardless of how this game seems that it to be going. But Team Cypress is going to have to stay in their base, or at least on the outskirts of their base, so they do not try anything too special. But as I say that, they go right onto the Lilia, who does use the flash, but gets charmed right back, and it's not going to matter. The ultimate was popped, but no amount of lullaby is going to stop you from getting shut down there. Sizzle could be the victim of the next shutdown, though. Those arcane shots do so much. Holy moly, Jazz on a killing spree with the solo bolo on to Sizzle. Holy moly. Team Jazz and Team Cypress getting so much aggression, and that's another kill for Jazz. Man is on a rampage with these mystic shots, hitting everyone and anyone he wants to. The Triforce Manamune last Whisper combo. Who knows? Who would have known that that does a lot of damage? And they are using that momentum to take the Baron right here. Bodkill gets hit up, takes a lot of damage, but only loses half of his health bar. But he is going to run down Kersey, who's trying for his life to stay alive. Does flash, dodges the death ray right there, and Bodkill flashes thinking he can get the kill. But the arcane True Shot Barrage is not going to kill Kersey there. I thought that would have been a nice cross-map moment for Jazz just to add insult to injury. But I think they'll just take the mid lane instead, which, I mean, what's more important, a morale-killing True Shot Barrage from 4 screens away or the mid lane turret? You decide. Oh, and he arcane shifts right into the face of Cypress and Sizzle. Sad B being thrown up by Jungle No Mechanics. Sad B indeed, Jungle No Mechanics. This game is not going your favor. Early game looked really good out of Team Cyprus. They did, I believe, get the first kill. I forget who it was on, but I do believe they did get first blood. It was very, very good for their momentum, but the momentum swung very favorably into Team Jast's hands, and now they have this Baron buff pushing out a little bit. Didn't get much more than that mid lane inner turret, but there are no more turrets outside the base for Team Cyprus. Marching down mid lane is Team Jast. Has a nice cannon minion to work with to destroy this turret, and a Ezreal who is 7-1-7 and is going to shred these turrets. Jungle No Mechanics tries to time the spell shield right on the Lily of Bowling Ball, but barely mistimes it. This turret is going to fall here, and you can only imagine the inhibitor is next. You do not want to die on this push and then lose the game. Team Cyprus having to concede a lot, and one Mystic shot hits Cyprus and takes him down to almost half HP, but that could be close to the end of the game. The paranoia is popped. Near sight, it doesn't matter when you get berserked. Kersey is in a lot of trouble. Jast is unstoppable. The Taric ult does go down, and a big Gnar doesn't do as much as one would imagine. Stexy has slain Sizzle. Double kill for Jast. Bodkill gets one himself. The bailout is going to pop, and he doesn't get the elim, so he is going to fall. But I don't think it matters when there are no people alive for Team Cyprus. Team Jast going to handily win this game in 26 minutes, and the fountain claims Stexy's life right there at the very end, ruining his KDA. He was 3-3, finishes the game 3-4, but Team Jast, very nice win off of this first match. Great performance out of Team Jast. I mean, you could just tell they were firing on all cylinders this game. I mean, where do we even start? Jast himself was playing great. The team's namesake was just doing so well. The Bodkill had so many great early plays, early out plays against Kersey, which made him grow to the monster of a machine herald that he was. Castellan on this Xin Zhao. I thought the Xin Zhao wasn't going to do too hot into the Nocturne. I thought the Nocturne was going to have a little bit better dueling potential, while Xin Zhao did have the sustain. He would just have the raw damage and CC to burst him down, but I was very mistaken on that. Luxana Unana, that Renata Glask was not a hesitation pick, but that was something the team obviously wanted and used to their benefit. The rest of the team, the rest of the people on the Rift, Stexy played very, very good for the side of Team Jast, but the rest of the show was all jungle and bot side for their team. On the other side, Team Cyprus did play well, but the momentum just kept shifting out of their favor. They would get 1 kill. Team Jast would get 2. They would get 2 kills. Team Jast would get 4. They would get a dragon. Team Jast would get the Baron. I mean, there's these back and forth plays kept happening in favor of Team Jast, and you have so many small victories, and it obviously leads to one blown up Nexus. But I believe we are going to head into a short break before we hop into game 2 between Team Jast and Team Cyprus. Don't look away from that browser. UNC Esports will be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the UNC Esports League of Legends Varsity and Junior Varsity Tryouts. We are into Game 2 of Team Jest versus Team Cyprus. The gamers have decided to switch their sides, so it is going to be Team Cyprus and the gang on the blue side with Team Jest on the red side. Similar bans to what we saw last game. The Darius, Samira, Udyr, and Hakram, all still bans that were on the table in this last game. We'll have to see if stuff is changed up now that Osomo does have the first pick for Team Cyprus. Wonder if he's going to pick the Ezreal, similar to how Jast did for his team last game. We obviously know how well that worked out, but I believe all bans except for that Xin Zhao pick are exactly the same as the first game. Osomo taking his time on this first pick. Going to be very important what he decides to pick here. Maybe they run it back with the Nocturne pick, or they believe Graves has some first pick priority. I don't exactly know how well Graves is played for the opposing team, but Stexy they're just going to run it back with the Ezreal. They know that Jast can play that very well. Or, I mean, if you really wanted to, you could flex it mid lane for the bot kill. I don't know if they are going to do that, but it is still a happy idea. A man can dream, can't he, chat? A man can dream. Castellan dreaming of what pick he is going to choose, what champion fits his bill this game. They already know the Graves is up, and the Nocturne going to be taken away from jungle no mechanics. That Graves could be going jungle, could be going mid, or could be going top lane. So they don't exactly know what he is doing just yet. The jungle no mechanics might pick a counter pick here, and Team Cyprus could reveal their hand as to where this Graves is going, or they could just opt to match the ADC and potentially go for a support pick as well. Just as I predicted, Sivir going to be locked in for Cyprus, and the Yuumi hover. Will we see a Yuumi this time around, or will they take the Renata Glask away from Laksana Unana, who played that very well for his team last game? Both of them being hovered, both of them equally good champions so far, but Yuumi is going to be the one locked in. Yuumi, very high priority support that we have seen a lot of in professional play, especially with Sivir comps, with Zeri comps. Neither of those champions are going to be played this game other than the Sivir who's already picked, but the Zeri, mainly what I was referring to. Sona locked in for the side of Team Jast. Very interesting pick there. I'm not sure what their thought process was with locking in the Sona. Maybe they think it is better than champion like Seraphine, for example. I think Seraphine's a lot more viable in this meta right now. Soraka as well. We saw Laksana Unana play Soraka yesterday. Worked out very well for his team. But the Sona is what they decided to pick. They obviously have some sort of plan for this game. York going to be banned away once again, and the Victor taken away from the bod kill. He was obviously a threat in this last game with those death rays, with the Chaos Storm doing so much damage in these team fights. We don't want to see him on a comfort pick like we did in game 1. Put him on something he's not comfortable with in game 2. Silas banned away again, as we saw in first game. The picks and bans very similar to what they were in game 1. And once again, bod kills comfort pick with the Veigar taken away. But I could imagine that they will leave his mid lane pick for last and potentially blind pick this top for Stexy. The set was not banned this time around, so they are going to pick it up. A blind pick set can be a very scary thing. You don't know what the enemy will choose into it, and they don't know how they could potentially counter it. The Akali hovered for Soma, I believe, but is actually hovering a lot more mid lane champions than top lane champions. All of them could make a good change in this game. The Talia going to be hovered, and Scion is actually the one locked in. So Cypress was bamboozling all of this by hovering all of those mid lane champions, trying to show that the Scion is actually going mid, that the Scion in top lane is a lie, the cake is a lie. Don't believe everything you see. Sizzle 10 seconds with the Corki hover. Will it be locked in? Will the bod kill have to play the flying ace? And it does look like Kersey is up to snuff and has himself an ace machine with Corki being locked in here. Corki's an interesting pick. I personally am not a fan of Corki because I feel it takes a lot to get him going. But, I mean, once he does get going, he's very, very strong. It's just you need to put resources into him, and if he doesn't get ahead or doesn't get a few items early enough, he just doesn't really do too much of anything. But Laxana Unana going to use that last pick to lock in Swain for the bod kill. Both compositions very different from what we saw last game, but the Nocturne and the Ezreal are going to be the same. And no repeat champions for the side of Team Cypress. Just getting a broad spectrum of the many League of Legends champions that Riot has to offer. Excuse me. But I think this game is going to be an interesting one, and I prefer the composition of Cypress with this Sivir, Yuumi, and Scion composition. Team Jazz does have some pretty good damage outputs, but similar to Kersey's Corki, they need to get ahead and they need to get some items under their belt before they can really start doing some damage and being proactive. But we will have to see which composition uses their champions more effectively. Cypress and Sizzle, I think a lot of their team's responsibilities hang on their shoulders. Their team's composition hang on the shoulders of this Sivir Yuumi, because who knows, this Sivir could fall incredibly behind and then be worth about the value of half of a boot. So not going to be very effective if your auto attack only do 50 damage. But luckily the Scion is on your team, so you do not have to worry about shredding through a 5,000 health Scion who has 400 armor to his name. And that Kraken Slayer is only going to do so much against that beef boss of a champion. But they do have to look out for the Swain, for the Set, and for the Nocturne, all of which can blow up this Sivir if you are not too careful. We will have to see what that comes to, what the outcome of this Game 2 is going to be here on the UNC Esports Twitch channel here at the Carolina Gaming Arena studio. I am Podslam, and I am telling you to not look away from that browser, to not turn off that browser, because UNC Esports will be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Summoner's Rift. We got an exciting match for you this time around. Luxana Unana throwing up the DJ Sona. For some reason, we are frozen. Got some technical difficulties going on. The sound is there. Everything else is there, but we don't know exactly where everything else is. We will have this fixed for you all here in a second. But while we have this beautiful screen capture up here, we are able to see all the different builds and items and runes that people are deciding to go. I believe I saw that Asomo was rocking the teleport and ghost on this Scion pick, which I think is really interesting. And Cypress, we saw, had the ghost and flash. And hello, we are back to the live desk while our wonderful producer Camo Henry figures out what the heck is going on. But I can try and diagnose what these two team comps are trying to do this time around with their abilities. We saw Sizzle was not running Flash, as is normal for a Yuumi, running the Exhaust and the Ignite, which will definitely help in the aggression against this bot lane. Different looking bot lane for the side of Jas and Luxana a little bit. Jas still playing the Ezreal, but Luxana Unana on a more comfortable champion for him of the Enchanter. Sona being something I believe he would be very, very accustomed to, similar to like a Lulu or a Soraka. But that is going to be something that we will have to see if that is true in this game. Henry, we know what's going on? All right. I believe I'm going to send us to a break so we can try and diagnose what the problem is going on. But don't look away from that browser. We will be right back. Who doesn't love some good old NA production? Is it not working again? Hit P. You did hit P. Never mind, I jinxed it. Game is not wanting to move when we go into OBS. Just some interesting thing. It does not like OBS, even though it just had an entire match. Try and fix it with what we just tried to do. And I will talk about what I currently see on my screen. See a lot of culls, surprisingly. See 3 culls this game. A lot of champions just wanting to farm up, not wanting to fight, not wanting to do anything like that. Camo Henry trying his darndest to diagnose the issue. Hopefully that will fix it for us. If not, then we will have to try and find another mode of finding this game and streaming it for you all. Apologize for everything going on. How about I look up some jokes? I'll look up some League of Legends jokes. Do you guys like that kind of stuff? League of Legends jokes. Oh, we're going back to live desk. Hi guys. All right, funny League of Legends jokes to impress your friends. I bet you guys haven't heard any of these ones. Never mind. Okay. What do you call a missing Warwick? Put your guess in chat right now before I spoil the answer. What do you call a missing Warwick? A werewolf. Ah, that was a good one. I thought that was pretty funny. Did you hear the one about what happened to Sin's Twitter followers? No? They all died. Ah. That was a good one. I'm not going to say that one. I'm not going to say that one. What do you call Kennen when he is stunned in Lightning Rush? Any guesses? You know, Alan Dang, I'm going to ban you from chat, homie. You want to come fix these problems? That's what I thought. It's called static electricity. That's what happens when Kennen is stunned in Lightning Rush. Why can't Sivir win the spelling bee? She can only spell shield. Bah! That was a good one. The singed one was good. Thank you, Sleepy. See, got some fans out there who respect my jokes. We are trying our hardest. There's only 2 of us here today. What more could you want? Let's look up some more. I heard Yorick has a crush on a certain League of Legends champion. He really digs Graves. Ah, that was a good one. I thought that was good. How many bronze players does it take to screw in a light bulb? Who knows? They can't climb the ladder. Ah, I like that one a lot. As a former bronze player myself, that was very funny. Everyone joining now for my great jokes. Oh my gosh. You don't know how to fix this, Henry? Do you want to be the one to come tell the jokes? No? Okay. Henry is doing his best. Give Henry your support in Twitch chat right now. He needs it. A Korean boy killed his best friend after losing 3 games in a row of League of Legends. The media are currently blaming the jungler. That was a good one. That was a good one. Okay, so our options are since OBS is wanting to die, we have a second computer that we are able to get some video off of. The only issue is there might not be audio, and it's starting at 11 minutes. Actually, Henry is saying he could sync up the audio. So there would be audio. It would just be starting at 11 minutes. Thank you, Riot Games. Riot is definitely a small indie company, so they're not able to fix these types of issues with OBS. Which, man, that just wouldn't be This wouldn't be easy enough. What is Vane's favorite website? Any guesses? Henry, you got a guess? Henry has no guess, he says. Tumblr. Ah, that's a good one. Yeah, I say we roll with the 11-minute banger. That is what we have to go with, sadly. What we have to do to make ends meet. So we will have that shortly on the stream for you guys as we get that set up. Gotta love Riot Games and this sad thing we are experiencing. Hopefully in Game 3 we do not have something similar. Here we are. Got that transition in for you guys. And here we are starting at 11 minutes. 4-2-2 in the kills. Almost a 2K gold lead for the side of Team Jast. Team Jast on this Ezreal. 1-1-1 with the bod kill 1-0-1. Sleepy says, what do you call an AFK Shyvana? A static Shiv. It's funny because the item is also gone. That is a F in the chat for static Shiv. But we do have a fight going on bot lane. The Sivir ultimate has been used. Jungle No Mechanics is not in range to get the root off, but I don't think it matters. The burn is going to tick down. Jungle No Mechanics is going to get the kill onto Luxana. Ooh, nah. But Asomo channels in there. This turret could be gone, and it is actually going to die. The Rift Herald going to knock it down. That's a lot of gold into the pockets of Team Jast. All right, fixing some other things for this game, but we will have to see what is going on. Blue team secures the dragon. Jungle No Mechanics picking himself up this Hextech Dragon, and he's doing very well for himself this game. 3-1-0 on this Graves. Doing very well for himself. A lot of gold in his pocket. Nocturne ult has been popped. Paranoia going for Castell, and Graves in a little bit of trouble. Jungle No Mechanics got nowhere to go, and the shutdown goes over to Castell. And on the other side of the map, no, have set in Asomo duking it out. Gotta love tank fights up here in this top lane. Nothing more exciting. Stexy trying to make use of this set pick. Get himself more on the board than he already is. Up 2-0. Castellan might just fall here, though. Uses the spell shield. Gonna have to flash over the wall. So incredibly low. Lost Chapter is going to be used. The Last Chapter, I believe, is the name of that ultimate. Not Lost Chapter, the item. But Sizzle, regardless of the name of the ultimate, going to pick up the kill for himself. And Castellan gonna pick himself up the Scuttle Crab. Who really won that? The guy who got the Scuttle Crab or the guy who got the skill, the kill with the skill? I believe it was the one who got the Scuttle Crab. That is obviously worth more. But the set ultimate going to be used onto Asomo. The Showstopper going to stop his show right there. And Stexy is up 3-0 to this Scion. Asomo not the way you want this lane to go. He got too close to that turret and just immediately got ulted back for Stexy. And I believe he started taking turret aggro because of the Bomby Cinder that he had in his inventory. Didn't want to take turret aggro there, but that is the nature of that when you are playing a tank and then you walk too close to an enemy champion under the turret. Who knew that would have happened? Mid lane is a little bit even right now, while the bod kill doesn't have as much farm as Kersey. He does have a kill and 2 assists on him, so that means something, but the lane pressure is definitely in favor of Kersey. The rest of his team is rotating up to the mid lane. No, the Paranoia is popped. Going to have to use the W to get out of there. The True Shot Barrage is going to hit him. Not going to do enough damage to kill him, though. Luxana Unana pressing those DJ boards on that skin. Damage over to the Graves. Doesn't really do too much this game, at least right now, especially when all you have is the Bantam Glass Mirror and the Kindle Gem. Not exactly the most damaging build. I believe he will be going for maybe a Moonstone Renewer. Might do an Imperial Mandate if you're using that E auto attack pretty well, but they could be in some trouble right here. Does get hit by the Prowling Projectile. Sivir ultimate is popped, and the Yuumi ultimate is popped as well. Luxana Unana in the wrong place at the wrong time. Doesn't even have time to flash there, though I think he was dead regardless of his flash. 4 members strong for Team Cyprus on this bot side. Wanting to get as much vision in the jungle of Team Jast as they can and clear as much vision as they can as well. The big fights going on mid lane though. Kersey gonna fall right here to the bod kill, but it is a 1-for-1 trade. The bod kill trying to get some more damage onto Jungle No Mechanics. Could potentially dive under the turret. Doesn't decide to because he does not have the flash. Some good trades of kills. This game is very aggressive so far. Very similar to last game. 13 kills at 16 minutes. Asomo and Stexy getting into it once again. But Asomo, he's got a little bit of armor, but Luxana Unana does not have any armor that I can see. And the Graves with a shotgun going to do a lot of damage, even though he did miss his Q. And Luxana might get out, but the Prowling Projectile and the end of the line going to make sure that he has no more line to walk down. Luxana Unana not having the best of games this time around. 0-4-2 on this Sona. Has more than 50% of his team's deaths. Not what you want to see with this Sona pick. Laners switching up what lanes they are dominating this time around. Stexy, the one is dominating the Rift Herald, though, and that'll be very, very beneficial in this side lane for him. They already used one Herald topside in order to knock down that tier 1 turret, and then might use that one mid lane in order to crack that mid tier 1 turret, especially with this dragon up. Going to be very important. It is the Wind Drake, and it will be the second dragon for Team Cyprus if they are able to pick it up. Have not seen a Dragon Soul yet in this series of games, but mainly because neither game has really gone too far in order to get towards a Dragon Soul. But Cloud Drake is going to be secured for Team Cyprus, and the Ocean brings life. Going to have a Ocean Rift so far, providing more cover, more brush. And I believe plants spawn more often as well because of the Ocean Rift. Castellan searching around for some wards. Doesn't want to be spotted, but I believe he is spotted regardless off that ward poking out the edge of the brush right there. Jast and the gang could be in a little bit of trouble. The smoke screen does hit him, but does its arcane shift over the wall. Keep out of danger. Castellan clears that control ward off that top side, but the rest of Team Cyprus is rotating up. Only one bot side is Kersey. They obviously want this top turret. Don't want to be able to give anything else around the map for it. No waves are pushing. Bodkill picks up the blue buff for himself. Claw is going to hit Kersey, though. It's a good bit of damage, but some trade damage with those rockets. Goes back to the bod kill. W is going to miss, but it does provide enough of a vision in order for the paranoia to pop out. Kersey, you're in a bit of trouble, my friend, but the flash is not going to save you from the Nocturne Q. The True Shot Barrage was fired off as well. Just wanted to try and get something, but not going to have any kills for him. But that is a good kill for Castellan. This game is very even. Only 1,000 gold separates both of these teams. 2 dragons in favor of Team Cyprus, as well as 2 turrets. Momentum could go either way. This set still has a bounty. Stexy still trying to make his team the winners in this game, wanting to go up 2-0 in this series. It's all about bragging rights here. series games don't really matter. It's about how you perform and how well your team performs. Because, I mean, you can have a heck of a game, but if you don't play with your team at all, then you are not exactly varsity and junior varsity material. If this was just a standard competitive match against Duke or NC State, I'd say beat them at any costs. But we have an NC State player with us, and you can't exactly grief your own teammates. Even though we want to ruin his day as much as we can for being a part of that darned wolf pack. Could see a fight mid lane, though. Stexy does hit the haymaker onto 2, and that's some big damage. Paranoia is going to pop, and Jungle No Mechanics has to get out of there, but Castellan is the one who does fall as Somo uses the ultimate to knock up Luxana. Ooh, nah, nah. Bodkill pops the ultimate himself, getting so much back. The Showstopper into the backline. Bodkill doesn't have time to proc the second half of his ultimate to do so much damage. Everyone alive for Team Cyprus. Their eyes on the big Baron Nashor. This is a 21-minute Baron Nashor. This is incredibly quick. Jast does have the True Shot Barrage, but he did just use his Arcane Shift in there, flashes away, and I don't know what he was trying to do right there instead of just True Shot Barraging the entire team. But it is going to be the Baron secured for Team Cyprus, and some much-needed gold and momentum in this game in their favor. Great team play out of Team Cyprus. They're playing out of their minds in this second half of the mid game. I guess it's the first half of the mid game, but mid game nonetheless. Items in their favor, gold in their favor, bounties in their favor. They did kill Stexy there in order to get his shutdown. Some bounties now placed on the heads of Jungle No Mechanics and Cyprus, both of which have more than 7 KP, at least 8. 4, 1, and 4 for Cyprus, 5, 2, and 4 for Jungle No Mechanics, and a +1 Scuttle Crab with the Dab Pengu and Teemo thumbs up. Dab Pengu is my favorite emote. If you're not using that emote, then I don't know what you're doing with your life. But I do know what Cyprus is doing, and that is clearing that mid wave so they are able to rotate down towards this Ocean Dragon, which spawns in about 10 seconds. If the Ocean Soul goes over to Team Cyprus, this game is just it's basically done. You aren't killing that Scion. This Sivir will heal up anything you try and throw at her. Mid-lave push trying to be stopped by this Ezreal, who has been playing all right this game. Does have a lot of items to his name, the Triforce and the Manamune. Still has that coal in his inventory, but is able to sell it if he wants to, not having to get any more CS than he wants. Speaking of CS, both teams CSing very well considering this state of the game. And oh my goodness, Luxana Unana almost dies to a single Corki rocket. A big one, does so well, and the package going to be used by Kersey. I believe it just ran out of time. Had picked it up for the Dragon, but you don't exactly need to do that when your enemy is not going to contest. Something they do need to contest is this bot wave turret. The bot kill very low. Paranoia is going to be popped though. Stexy trying to get back with a teleport. Kersey just gonna kill Nocturne. Not really much you can do there if you are a Nocturne, but a lot of damage from Kersey off the side, dodging all of Jast's Ezreal abilities right there. But the Haymaker does hit on the Jungle No Mechanics. That's a lot of damage. This turret so incredibly low. They do have a Baron-empowered cannon minion who is going to destroy it right now. That is a lot of momentum in their favor because while this play was going on, Asoma was on the top side. Oh my goodness, Kersey. That is a lot of damage. The root goes down. Bodkill pops the ult, but once again does not have the ability to hit that aura a second time. So many people dead. The confused frog thrown up from Jast. Kersey might try and kill him as he goes into the fountain. Castellan trying his best to dissuade the end of the game. Osoma has TP'd in. A great ultimate cutting off Castellan right there. But most importantly, going to knock down this first turret. That is going to be 2 turrets. Ghost has been popped from the gang, and it is going to be the only ghosts you see are that of Team Jast. Jast, the only one alive. the last one to fall. And Team Cyprus gonna get a win for themselves and make this series 1-1. A complete flip of the script from game one. Jast and the gang seemed to be owning in this game one, but now it was Cyprus and the gang who really showed that that first game was a fluke. And this is how they actually can play. This is what they really mean to do. This is how they play their game. They looked very comfortable with the Sivert Yumi composition. Couldn't really do too much. And even Kersey put on a champion that that's a very different playstyle than the one he was playing last game. But nonetheless, carried all the same. I was sort of dissing the Corki pick, but he made me eat my words there. Corki was one of the main factors for winning that game. The poke was incredible. I mean, we saw some amazing rockets onto Luxana and Unanad that just chunked him. I mean, granted, he's a Sona, but those rockets were doing about 600, 700 damage apiece. And when you're a Sona and you only have 1,200 HP, you can only do so much against the big ones. But I believe we are going to head into a break in order to recuperate and head into this game 3. What will these teams do? Will Team Jast come out on top and finish with 2-1, or will it be Cyprus who are going to do the reverse sweep? The only way you can find out is by staying tuned. Don't look away from that browser. UNC Esports will be right back. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Game 3 of the UNC Esports League of Legends Varsity and Junior Varsity Tryouts. We have another exciting game for you coming up, but Team Jest and Team Cypress have switched sides once again. Bans very, very similar to how they have been in the first two games. ADC target bans, Cypress and Jest. Obviously, helping their teams out as much as they can these past two games. Jest, first game, kind of smurfing. Cypress, his last game, kind of smurfing. Who knows who will be smurfing this time around? Maybe it'll be me. Who knows? I might be the one who is smurfing. But regardless of how good I may or may not be, ADC bans on the table. These are actually, I think, identical bans to Game 1, the exact same order as well. Now we just need Team Cypress to ban away the Hecarim, and I forget who Team Jest banned in the first game, but they do ban this Yuumi. Regardless of that, don't want Sizzle to get his hands on the cat. Not exactly the best of champions, as we saw last game with the Sivir Yuumi composition. I can't imagine that Team Cypress would pick that in R1 and R2 if they had the chance. Last ban coming out for Team Cypress will be the Ezreal. Don't want Jazz to have that once again, forcing him to play something that we have not yet seen this series. Wonder if it'll be a Kai'Sa, will it be a Caitlyn, will it be a Tristana? Could we see a Kog'Maw? Who knows? But with the Ezreal ban, it leaves up the Hecarim, which Stexy is very, very quick to pick right there with that first pick. Have to see what counter picks the side of Team Cypress are going to lock in. Can't imagine they are going to pick their jungler here simply because they know the jungle of Team Jest. And the Udyr has also gone through the ban phase, so he is going to be picked up. Both junglers, both the jungle champions that have been banned the first two games are going to be played, and some ADC hovers are coming out for Team Cypress. Did see Cypress play Kai'Sa in that first game, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it, locking in the Sivir. Wonder what Jazz will pick to counter this Sivir pick. ADC has been a very contested role this entire series. Both teams have very talented ADC for them. Jazz and Cypress both. Cypress a varsity veteran, and Jazz the newcomer from NC State. And this will be the first time we see a Zeri in the tryouts so far. Didn't see any Zeri yesterday. Didn't see any Zeri today until right now. So that'll be very good. But there is no Yuumi to pair with it. Maybe we do see a Lulu pick out of the bod kill. Lulu Zeri, a very, very popular combination. Might see Lulu Sivir if it is not picked here as well. Laksana Unana has played different champions in every single game this series thus far, and call me a prophet. Pick Lulu right there. Great pairing to go with Zeri. And the Sylas going to be hovered here for Kersey, that has been banned in the second round of banning in both games. Not wanting Kersey to have that, so are going to pick that up while they still can. Very good pick with the ultimate so far for the side of Team Jest. Has the overgrowth for Lulu and the, I believe it's called Spectral Onslaught, or Onslaught of Shadows. It is called Onslaught of Shadows for Hecarim. I don't know how well Zeri ult works with Sylas. Might speed him up, but that's not exactly the best. So it has the big AoE boom. So that's something you could look forward to if you are a Sylas player. But regardless of that, Victor banned away for the bod kill, and Renata Glass going to be banned away from Sizzle, since these sports already been picked for side of Team Jazz. Didn't want the Renata pick to abuse this Lulu in lane with her superior poke and CC. Vladimir ban coming out for Team Cypress, obviously not wanting that to throw a wrench in the plans of Kersey's Sylas. York banned away from Asomo. Have to see what Cypress picks here in order to save a potential either support pick or top lane pick for the last pick of red side. Ooh, the Pike hover. I'm a big fan of this Pike pick. And Pike is going to be locked in. A very aggro support for Sizzle. A lot different than last game where he was playing the Yuumi. You're going to have to see how well he could pilot that this time around. And when you got two squishy champions in the bot lane with Lulu and Zeri, going to make a big difference. But if Zeri holds the polymorph, if Lulu holds the polymorph, could be bad news bears. But the Veigar was not banned this time around in favor of the Vladimir. So Bodkill going to pick up something he is very, very comfortable with. That pocket, signature pocket pick, as we like to say. And the Lilia going to be hovered. We saw Stexy play it into Asomo's Gnar in game 1. Wonder if he does go for the Gnar again, thinking it was a good pick, but obviously not the best of counter picks into the Lilia. Might work well with his composition. Might just bite the bullet of losing the lane phase and winning the late game. Didn't work out for them in game 1, though. Did end up losing that game. 2 seconds. What will Sizzle pick for Asomo? Irelia. Could see the Irelia go mid lane with Kersey and the Sylas go top. Could we see that? Nope. Asomo is going to be the one to pick the Irelia up. Swapping all the champions around. You definitely don't want that Veigar going support. It needs to get those stacks with his Q. Both of these teams, interesting. I'd like the composition from Team Cyprus. I think they have a lot more engage, a lot more agency, and a lot cooler, lot cooler bit of individual champions. But the team fight from Team Jast, I think, is just too darn good. You have the Event Horizon Veigar wall just enclosing whoever you want in. You have the onslaught of shadows from Castellan over the backline being able to do so much. You have Stexy with the Lilting Lullaby, I think, is going to make a big difference. He hit some pretty big ones in game 1 in order to help secure his team the win. But we will have to see the outcome of that game here after the nasty spectator delay. But that means you cannot go anywhere, because if you do, I will know. So don't look away from that browser. UNC Esports will be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the final match of Team Jazz versus Team Cypress. We figured out the kinks. We don't have to use the second computer this time around. We have perfect in-sync audio. Who cares about NA production when you've got the Camo Henry and Podsalem Productions? That is the only one that matters. Early wards coming out from Castle, getting a early recall off to go get that sweeper. Very effective, especially when you are counter jungling against a Udyr. Jungle Mechanics, playing the latest reworked champion from Riot Games trademark. Wanting to show that he is the superior bear spirit animal man, as would anyone, I would imagine. I know I'm the superior bear spirit man. What do you say, Henry? Yeah? Someone else bet on Team Cypress. Yes, get in your channel point predictions right now. It might still be open. If not, it's over. Never mind, it's not open. I put 600 channel points on. Actually, I'm not going to say. Because if I say, then they might know it's scripted. And I just told them it was scripted. I just told them it was scripted, so that means it is. They have to listen to me. That's how that works. Bod kill. On the pocket pick Vigar this game against Kersey's pocket pick of the Silas. Silas running first strike instead of the Conqueror. That is an interesting one. But I think an even more interesting pick is Sizzle on the Pike. We don't really see a lot of Pike in professional play. That does not mean he's a bad champion. Osomo wrecking Stexy so far on the Lilia pick. Didn't like getting abused whenever he played Gnar, so he's wanting to be the one to be the one giving the beatdown this time around. Is running Conqueror as well to get some heals back in his HP pool. Oh, misses the stun right there. I believe if he does hit that stun, Stexy is quite literally just dead. Dead or burning a flash and dead. But Sizzle and Cypress pushing in the bot wave of Jast and Laxana Unana. Getting some nice poke onto them and shoving in this wave is going to hurt this Zeri. Trying to farm under that turret. Zeri is able to farm a little bit better under turret than some ADCs. That does not mean that it is a fun venture to try and do, though. Oop, Osomo does hit the stun right there, but Stexy going to get back, and the flash going to prevent Osomo from getting a kill. Osomo taking too many turret shots for the normal Irelia's liking, and that will seriously come back to bite him. That first blood, having used the teleport incredibly early to push this wave back in. Stexy can come back to lane with some nice items and then TP back himself. Comes back with an amplifying tome and some boots. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a big difference in just buying a longsword. And more important than just gold, I think there's morale on the line. I mean, you tried to go for that spicy play under the turret and just sadly couldn't get it done. Somo still up in CS, but there's a giant wave pushing into him, making that CS difference even more. It's hit with the bowling ball there. Stun still hits as well. Jas not having fun against this Pike so far. Hit by the harpoons. There are some on-the-way pings in the mid lane as well as the top lane, but CC Immunity is going to go through the event horizon of the bod kill, who just walks away, waddles his little Yordle self out of there. And Osomo on the top side, although we didn't see it, did have to burn his flash in that play. Didn't want to die a second time before 5 minutes. And I don't know if they saw Sizzle, who got the field goal onto Jast and Laxana and could be in a bit of trouble. Does use the dash onto the Lulu. Very low, but the flash. Laxana Unana going to pick up the kill with the ignite. Cypress is very low. The flash. Laxana not going to be able to finish the kill, and Jast is in trouble. Conqueror is proc. Jungle No Mechanics going to finish it off, and there's only a Lulu, and what can you do against the Bear Spirit Animal Man? The Phoenix stance, the Ram stance, going to finish it off. Tries to get the kill over to Cypress, but doesn't want the Lulu to get away. A double kill for Jungle No Mechanics, and an evening of the kills and gold for this game. CS is pretty even. Kersey trying to get some damage onto the bod kill, doing so much with that Silas passive, and just gets poked back out whenever he walks towards the end of it. Primordial Burst not online for the bod kill just yet. Very close to that level 6 though. Can make the difference between life and death for Kersey, that is. Just being able to hit the no fun button and all of your health is gone. That's my favorite type of button in League of Legends. There's a few champions that have a no fun button. Veigar, Malphite, Pyke if you use his ult right. If not, then you just kind of look silly. But Sizzle waiting in this bush. I don't know if they knew he was there or they assumed he was there, but Kersey pops the Onslaught of Shadows, puts the Hecarim back in, and that is just a wombo combo for the ages. Since he was using the speed up whenever he got feared, it pushed him even further into jungle no mechanics, who had the ram stance ready to go to stun him in place. And Sizzle was there. He helped out. Got an assist for himself. Actually, no, I think he was just there for the moral assistance. But regardless of that, Stexy getting the works on the top lane from Asomo, who, despite being down a kill, is not acting like it. Castellan looking for the reach around gank, runs around the tri-brush. Polymorph goes out for Sizzle, but he still lands the stun. Castellan did not go far enough to compensate for the dash of the Pyke. Stun is going to hit. Stexy could be in trouble. The Lilting Lullaby is going to pop. Asleep is Asomo, and Asomo once again tries for the dive and gets outplayed by a turret. Can't do anything against that except not try it. Asomo is 0-2 in these turret dives. A lot of gold into the pocket of this Lilia, who now has a shutdown gold, has that bounty on his head. Jungle No Mechanics trying to kill Jazz here, but Jazz didn't know that's where the Udyr was. Hecarim is on the way. Castellan, the savior, Onslaught of Shadows, hits only one. Sizzle could be in some trouble, does use a dash away. Castellan is now the one in trouble. The shield going to go on. The Overgrowth is not online just yet. Wild Growth, I mean, but it doesn't matter when everyone is dead. A clean 3-for-0 in favor of Team Cyprus. Jungle No Mechanics flexing his mechanics this game with a 100% KP so far. 6-4-6, 3-0 and 3 on this Udyr, and is still keeping up with the CS of Castellan. Only down 3. That's not too bad, but who knows if that will be able to translate into a win for his team. Definitely wants to go up 2-1 for the game. Primordial Burst is going to hit, and Kersey says, "Good night, you stinking Yordle." Veigar falls. Vodkill goes 0-1 in this lane. Kersey 2-0. A lot of gold spread around for Team Cyprus. Not all on one person. Udyr 3-0. Silas 2-0. Sivir 2-0. Sizzle 0-1-2. Asomo is just happy to be there. But he does have his jungler up there. Jungle No Mechanics wanting to push in this wave. Just taking the XP of Asomo. Rift Herald is online if he wants to go try and get that, which I believe he will do now. Has Sizzle roaming up, but spotted by that control ward in the bottom river bush of mid lane. Did he leave, though? That is the big question. Will Kersey try and go in? Sizzle says, "I'm going to make the decision for you." Hooks, bod kills, Ghost, his shadow right there. Kersey in a bit of trouble. The Onslaught of Shadow is going to get Castellan so far in the back, but will he pay with it? Sizzle says yes with the harpoon. Kersey wants more. His polymorph Wild Growth is used. Sizzle so incredibly low, and the cleanup crew is here. Jazz flashes in, pops the ultimate, but is getting locked up. Uses the dash over the wall, but Cyprus is there. He says, "I don't give a darn about your dash. I'm going to go on a killing spree." Kersey not wanting to make the mistake of his top lane counterpart by diving under the turret. And a bunch of kills go over in favor of Team Cyprus. They are owning this game. Everyone who bet on Team Cyprus is very happy right now. I know Camo Henry bet on Team Cyprus. The man's rigging the vote. How dare you? I still got faith in Team Jast, though. This Zeri pick could become a major threat if you are not careful. And if the bot kill is able to stretch out this game long enough, this Veigar will deal more damage than a semi going 100 miles an hour on the interstate. Big wave for Stexy to pick up here. Big wave for Osomo as well. But Sizzle is not worried about waves, but worried about the bod kill and why his KDA is still too high. Primordial Burst is going to land, but the execution from Sizzle is more important than that. Castellan could be in a little trouble as well. Kersey gets the stun, and he's so low in range of the Pike ultimate. But Osomo going to get drowsied there and locked up, trying to get some more damage. Stexy is. Conqueror is up for both of these people. Bowling ball going to hit. Osomo is slowed. Could go in for more damage. The stun misses, and Stexy misses his W as well. I think if he hits that, Osomo is in a lot of trouble. Castellan wants the reach around onto Kersey, and that is what he is going to get. Stopwatch is burned. He's going golden for a little bit, but the dash is used, and oh no, Kersey gets out, but will the chickens kill him? He's so low, doesn't die there. A very big missed opportunity for Team Jazz. Luxana Unana not wanting to take the kill when in reality he should have just taken it, so his team got something out of it. Jungle No Mechanics locked in the cage of the Event Horizon, taking a lot of damage, but nothing that will bring him to 0 HP. Dragon's alive. Sizzle hooks Luxana Unana over the wall, and I believe Pike wins that matchup if it's a 1v1, but not a 1v1 if your partner bod kills there. Dragon is being started. Sizzle throws Luxana a little bit closer. Says, yeah, just watch us take this Drake. Come on. This will be the second Drake of the game for Team Cyprus at about 12 minutes. They are looking for the Dragon stacking. I believe it is going to be a Hextech Rift this time around. Yes, the Hex Gates are active. Kersey getting some good damage on the bod kill. I don't know if he has the ultimate to get his off, but Kersey almost dying to the Primordial Burst, barely missing the Q right there. Going to take a recall. Wave is shoving in to the turret. Bod kill just going to quickly pick those up. Castellan, a little bit of counter jungling, but he is spotted by the Ram and the Silas himself. Kersey doesn't even have to use the Onslaught of Shadows there. And Castellan not having the best of games this time around. 0, 4, and 1 on this Hecarim. Team Cyprus left this Hecarim unbanned, by the way. They thought that it was a incredibly important thing to ban in the first game against Castellan, but I mean, obviously they are playing this matchup to perfection. Jungle No Mechanics counter jungling in Castellan's jungle, knowing that he can win the 1v1. Castellan says, I have a feeling that my blue buff is under siege. Kersey is there now, hits the chains, does still have the Onslaught of Shadows, gets feared, does sleep, and not going to be able to do enough to shut down onto Kersey. But Jungle No Mechanics looking to get 2 kills, hits Stexy, 1 auto away. The bowling ball is going to miss. The Hexgate is active if he wants to take it, is just going to run to the innocent Scuttle Crab, who is chilling there. And Cyprus and Jazz are just chilling bot lane. It is just a farming simulator down there. Ooh, does get the spell shield. Mana back for himself. I believe this turret will be gone, though. Cyprus taking a little bit of turret damage. The Angry Bee thrown up by Jast with the Sadnar in response. 28,000 gold for Team Cyprus. 22.8. Let's just round it up to 23. 6,000 gold lead in favor of Team Cyprus. The Event Horizon does go down. Bod kill not wanting to give another kill over to Kersey on the Silas 4, 1, and 4. Absolute mad lad so far. The innocent thumbs up from Kersey there. Wants some of the chicken farm himself. Not able to grab it though. does have some on-the-way pings for Jast. He thinks Jast has lived long enough, but can't really do much against that when you just dash over the wall. Kersey pushing this bot wave, wants more CS to his name. The rest of his team towards the mid and top jungle. This mid turret will be going to Team Cyprus as well. They have not lost a turret yet themselves. Can't imagine they will at some point, but objective bounties, I believe, are active for Team Jast. The gold disparity is too high at this point in the game. They are down 7,000. Excuse me, a little bit over 6, but that's not going to matter just yet. Primordial Burst used onto Lulu. Not going to kill her, though. She did not have enough HP gone to get the execute off. Sizzle roaming around trying to get those wards cleared. Stexy could be in a bit of trouble, but both junglers are topside. Rift Herald used. Kersey in a lot of trouble. The Primordial Burst not going to do as much damage as the bot kill had anticipated. Both of them trying to run away and not give the other one a kill. It's a pride thing at this point. Bot kill wants that kill against Kersey, wants him to feel the pain that he has been feeling this entire lane phase. Luxana Unana trying to clear some wards in the bot side jungle before this next Drake spawns in about 35 seconds. Will be a big Drake fight if Team Cyprus are able to get this. This is a 17.5-minute Drake, by the way. If they get this, they will potentially have Soul by about 23 minutes, which most of our games have gone to about 25 minutes, and 23 minutes is a very, very quick Soul, as Castellan has to burn the Onslaught of Shadows right before this dragon spawns, and there's not really much that you can do to contest this if you are Team Jast. Hextech Dragon is going to go over the way of Team Cyprus, no contest. And that Hextech Soul is incredibly good for this Sivir, being able to chain her attack. Sizzle barely dodging the W there for Veigar. Veigar's W, one of the most broken in the game, by the way. So incredibly damaging. Cooldown gets lower the more kills you get. I mean, what more could you want out of an ability? MIA pings in the topside jungle for Team Cyprus. They know that there's a deer around there and maybe a horse as well. Kersey picks up the Veigar ultimate for himself. There is a Baron spawning in a little under 2 minutes that I do believe Team Cyprus think they could easily go for. A 3v3 on the top side, though, as Jungle No Mechanics trying to run out. Does get locked up by the Lilia Lilting Lullaby. Now it is a 4v4. No blood drawn. Just some taking of jungle camps. They did not get there in time for the blue buff, though. That will go the way of Castellan. Kersey does see the bot kill, roots him up right there. Primordial Burst, I believe he used a little bit early, but because it was running out, and Kersey makes the mistake of Asomo, takes too much turret damage for his liking, and is going to give the bot kill his first kill of the game. Stevie is in a little bit of trouble. Doesn't have the Lilting Lullaby, but Asomo, don't let it happen again. The turret! That's the third time, but this time he does get a trade kill back. But all of that gold goes into the pocket of his lane opponent. So even though you got a CS lead, you are down 3 kills, and that does mean something. Does have the Bork, though, and is, I believe, working towards something else. Gaston going to get out of there before that TP finishes from Kersey. Kersey wants that wave topside. Both teams wanting to win this game. Team Jast down 7K gold, though. That is a big number to overcome. And they are down 3 dragons, which is a little bit more important than the three numbers you see up there at the top for their gold. Lilting Lullaby is going to be used from Kersey. Sexy trying to get more under the turret. Kersey wants this kill, but he's having flashbacks of Asomo in the top lane. The chains are going to hit. Jungle No Mechanics is trying to get there himself. Herald is just going to be popped, though. Going to take this top turret, and not much you can do against it. Castellan is here just in case they do try and go, as well as Laksana Unana. Sizzle joined the gang as well. 3v3 on top side. 1v1s in both mid lane and bot lane. Jast not able to do anything against Cypress. This Herald is going to get a second hit on this turret, though. Don't have enough range in order to take it down. Jast has arrived, but not before this Herald does get a charge off on the turret, taking it below a third HP. Jast chilling mid lane. Might get hooked by the harpoon here. Does get hit. I don't believe Cypress has enough damage under his belt just yet in order to 100-0 her in 1 second. The hook is going to go wide again, but it does stop the recall. So if they get a wave under this turret, might be able to dive her with the Udyr. But playing it safe, don't want to give her any extra resources that she can use to get back into this game. Stexy doing his best to push Kersey off this wave. Kersey graciously obliging, going to take a recall here. Has the Medjai's Soul Stealer as a very aggressive item for him. Has the stopwatch that we saw him use a lot earlier. No use in trying to do that now. Does take the top turret though, and trying to break the base of Team Jast. That top turret is still standing for the inhibitor. And oh my goodness, Team Cypress, and oh, Sizzle from out of nowhere. The RKO off the top side. Sexy going to get the Elim, though. Cypress might pay for it with his life as well. They do see Jungle No Mechanics, who is running in like a bat out of hell. Jast could be in a little bit of trouble. Asomo going to pick up the kill onto him. Stexy is in some trouble as well. This deer is no match for the Phoenix Ram Bearman. Asomo hits the stun onto the bot kill. The Event Horizon blocking any further chase. But Jungle No Mechanics says, I'm a Ram. I'm throwing up the Teemo thumbs up. And I think, Mr. Bodkill, that you might just die here. Does get the stun off as well. Doesn't hit the slow, though, but that's a very fast Udyr. The thumbs up Teemo going to seal his fate. 4-0. Actually, a 4-1 because Sizzle did die at the very start of that game. So much gold in the pockets of Team Cypress. They did just get the Dragon Soul at 23 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, call me a prophet once more. This game is looking like it might just be under wraps. Laksana Unana made the grave mistake of stepping out of his base. The battle song is used to try and get away. Jungle No Mechanics going to run him down, not wanting to get too advantageous and run at him under his base turret. Castellan sees the spooky Harpoon Man and decides to run away. This Pike pick is actually paying dividends for Team Cypress. Does have the Umbral Glaive, I believe that's the name of that item, and a Serrated Dirk to his name. A lot of lethality, a lot of maneuverability with those Mobies as well. Kersey spots a blue buff. Kersey wants a blue buff, but most importantly, Kersey spots a horse. Wants the horse on his hit list as well. Vision is going down, though, in the topside jungle of Team Jast, and there's a giant Baron on the map with Team Cypress's name on it. No vision for Team Jast. I don't know how they are going to try and contest this. This Baron is being shredded. No one within earshot or eye shot of it just yet. Going down under 2K, and it is going to be secured by Team Cypress, but they could see a fight break out right here. Team Sizzle going very low, but it's not going to matter. The Onslaught of Shadows goes into the backline. Kersey going to get a kill on Jess. Even though Sizzle misses his ult, it does not matter. Cypress is dominating. Bodkill is going to be able to take up the kill onto Kersey. Asomo on a killing spree. There's a big bear in the backline doing so much damage. Asomo gets a double kill. Could we see more than that? Sexy is locked up. Goes golden for a few seconds just to spell his demise. The ace for Jungle No Mechanics And ladies and gentlemen, Team Cyprus are rolling over this game, and they have just won this second game. They have the Baron, they have the Minions, they have the Sivir, and they have the Nexus turrets of Team Jast. There goes number 1. There falls number 2. They are up. Will they try and contest? Castellan doing his darndest, going to get locked up. Jast doing his darndest as well. Not going to matter. The flash forward. Oh my goodness. At the very end, Sizzle does fall to the bod kill. But can't really save your Nexus from exploding right there. Team Jast in shambles. Team Cyprus with a very, very dominant game so far. The first game that we saw a Dragon Soul, and they did it in 23 minutes, no less. Undeniably the most dominant game that we have seen in this series. But yes, that is the last game that we do have for today. We have more League of Legends Varsity and Junior Varsity Tryouts tomorrow around the same time. I believe we have a Super Smash stream before that, though, so hopefully we will not be able to run into any problems with them. We all know what game is the superior game, but you didn't hear it from me. But anyways, that will do it for us here at the Carolina Gaming Arena studio. I have been Podslim. My producer has been Camo Henry. We've been doing the solo bolo producing and casting duo. What more could you ask from us? And now I say, regrettably, that you can turn off that browser and go do what normal humans do. I don't know. Go pay your taxes or something like that. What do normal humans do, Camo Henry? Sleep. That's a good one. I like the way that he thinks. I think I'm going to take you up on that offer when I get back to my own apartment. But yes, you can turn off that browser. You all have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.